meeting of the Red Oak City Council to order. Let it be known that duly notices have been posted in accordance to Texas Government Code Section 551, and we still are allowed to carry this meeting in public and also online. And do we have any other councilmen online? Okay, Councilman Wilson is attending online. So we have Councilman Drake present, Councilman Goodwin present, Councilman Brawley present, and Councilman Wilson is online. Councilman Franklin is absent. Thank you. Councilman Drake, would you lead us in the invocation in the place? Yes, sir.
Let's pray. Father, we come to you this evening first and foremost, Father, to ask forgiveness for our sins. Father, we thank you for this day. Pray that you continue to bless us, Father. Give us your grace, Father. Father, we ask that you continue to be with us and watch over us, Father. We ask that every step that we make and every voice that we say, Father, is step towards you, Father. Father, we thank you for all that you do and all that you're going to do. Father, we ask you to continue to bless this council, the city, everyone that's here, Father, those that could not make it, Father. Father, we ask you to continue to bless those that are running this beautiful city, Father. We thank you for all that you do. Father, we ask these things in your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Now's the time for citizens' comments. I do have two people who have submitted those, but those are items that are listed, and so I would ask if you want us to reserve those for those when those items come up. Good with that? Okay. Let me make sure that they're public hearings. So item 7 is not a public hearing. So I'm actually going to ask that you speak at that one. That's Mr. Gary. I'll ask that you go ahead and speak now, since item 7 is not a public hearing. Is that the correct way to do it, ma'am?
That'll be fine.
Okay. So, kind of before you talk about this, realize that that's the landowner's wish to have it being annexed. So,
Mike Gary, live at 1512 Steinbach.
okay.
I know we're gonna build houses here. I don't know why we're trying to build so many tract houses in Red Oak. Not much I can do about it. I don't like it. I think we need some gated communities. There's nothing south of 20 that's gated. Sure sell them here. My main thing is we're fixing to put 200 and some odd houses on that land. How are we gonna get there? What are we gonna do with the road? Every time this question's been asked, it's, let's circle back. That's all we hear. It's a county road. Well, city's out there filling potholes. We got a zone load bridge, one lane. 2 cars cannot pass on Pratt Road without somebody getting off it. So I'd like for that to be addressed. The drainage issues and all that stuff, I'd kind of like to be. I know I just want to be here for that and see what we're going to do. Y'all can dump where you can dump all that water. Something to think about. All that water off that land comes right across me and my neighbor. And we fill it with concrete, roads. Just kind of like to know about that.
Sure. So, as a general statement, anytime there is development, the land developer has to make sure that they don't dump water unduly onto someone else's property. So that's
Right.
part of their obligation. And since this is on the agenda, I feel comfortable that we can kind of speak on that, at this point. Mr. Fuller, can you attest to anything else?
Yeah, so I would say this is just the first step in this whole thing, is bringing the property into the city. When they start doing the development process, there'll be more public hearings for the zoning and the planning and the development design of everything. And that would be where that would take place, is when we go through those.
It's the one that we, of 147 acres.
Yes. So basically, the only reason we're bringing it into the city is so they can build houses on half acres and get half acre,
That's why they
Because
asked
you're-
for,
getting around the county.
Well, that, and we want to be able to control what they do instead of letting them go out and put
cardboard
mobile homes
boxes.
on 1 acre lots.
That's
We're
our
in
only
the zoning,
control.
that's what we get out of it, is the zoning control. Because if we don't annex them, they can go out there and build whatever they want on 1 acre lot.
You want trailer houses or anything like that over there?
Well, we got them out there now. It seems like the inspector goes up and down Hidden Creek checking for stuff, but they never go anywhere else. I don't know. But anyway, that's my 2 cents, what it's
Okay.
worth. Yeah.
So please watch, because there will be other public hearings and,
We'll wait here.
so, yeah, and Mr. Carey, we appreciate your comment. So item 9 is a public hearing, so we'll wait this one. Okay. Is there anybody else that didn't get a chance to sign in? Or is there anybody online that wants to make public comment? Okay. Citizens' comments. Okay, we will move on to consent agenda. Consent agendas are, items that are considered routine in nature and can be acted upon by one motion. These are informational items that, we have been briefed on before, or something that is recurring. Any of these items can be withdrawn, by, a council member, myself, or any staff member, to act upon separately. Is there anything that needs to be pulled separately? Okay, Councilman Wilson, you good? Mayor. Oh, okay. So if you'll make that note until he gets back on. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Okay, by a gaggle of people, that was Councilman, Drake, second by Councilman Brawley. Those in favor?
Aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
All right, that passes 3-0. We still have enough for, quorum to be able to conduct business. That was items 1 through 6. Item 7. Consider approval of ordinance number 22-004, the City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, providing for the voluntary annexation of territory generally described as being 147.47 acres, more or less, out of the Robert A. Lemons Survey, abstract number 628 in the City of Red Oak, ETJ, Ellis County, Texas, as described as in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein for all purposes to the City of Red Oak, Texas, and extending the boundaries of the the boundary limits of the city so as to include said property within the city limits, and granting to all inhabitants and owners of said property all of the rights and privileges of other citizens, and binding all inhabitants by all ordinances, acts, resolutions, and regulations of said city, providing for a service plan, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date.
And this is the same one we were just talking about on the north end, the Stainback Road, where it turns back to Poe. Ben's gonna pull it up.
Okay.
We've already conducted the 2 public hearings, in previous meetings, and this is just the action on the annexation, itself.
So, hey Ben, not familiar with that area, so where are these 2 roads, these 2 bridges that are getting to that piece of property? If you
The
can pull
top
that.
to the south here, crossing Bear Creek,
Okay.
and then, actually, I'm not sure which other one they were referring to.
Before you get to that,
Yes,
There's one right before, there's
South of
2
this.
bridges right in a row,
yeah, right down south. Right.
here and here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there anything else you need to show us on that?
No,
Mr.
just,
Hartman?
there's, I mean, if you kind of follow my mouse there, the general boundary of it.
Okay.
Shares a border with Bear Creek there, and then stops at, Pratt Road.
Okay. Council, do you have any questions on that?
I haven't figured out where this thing is.
The north, like here's the county line right here,
Okay.
here's 342 over here.
Yep.
And Stainback comes around, and that is Pratt.
Northwest corner of Pratt and Stainback.
Okay, yeah, all
So,
right.
yeah, if you go out Stainback to the right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they planning on installing sewer properties or?
No, it's service plan,
What, 3/4 acre?
That's what Wilson's back on. Okay.
it's a minimum a half acre.
Oh, I.
Usually it's 6, 7 tenths for the permeation.
And that's still all to be developed, determined
Mm-hmm.
by the PERC test.
Right.
Okay. All right. Councilman Wilson, do you need any answers on that? The rest of the council, y'all good? Okay. I'll entertain a motion, since we've talked about this in previous meetings, to approve ordinance number 22-004. Councilman Brawley?
Second.
Councilman Drake? Those in favor?
Aye.
Drake, aye.
Rolling, aye.
That's 4-0. Item 8, consider adoption resolution 22-022R of the City Council of City of Red Oak, Texas, adopting a petition for voluntary annexation and authorizing the setting of date, time, and place for a public hearing on the contemplated annexation described in Exhibit A and depicted in Exhibit B, attached hereto and made part hereof for all purposes, annexation area by the City of Red Oak, Texas, authorizing and directing the city staff to publish notices of such hearing with the institution of annexation proceedings by adoption of the annexation ordinance to occur at a special called city council session and to prepare a service plan for the annexation area, said annexation area being more particularly described in Exhibit A and depicted in Exhibit B, and providing an effective date. Mr. Ford, I guess, or Mr. Hartman.
This is a, portion of property that's right next to, adjacent to the Compass project site. Compass project site is here, and this is a little sliver here that they're purchasing, in order to, house some of their detention that is required, during any development. They're using the main portions of their land for their improvements in their buildings. They just needed a little bit extra for detention so that they could detain the difference between their existing condition and their developed condition. And so that's all this will end up being, but it's just north of the existing Compass site. You can see it's a pretty small portion of land. Comparatively, it's 5 acres, but comparatively to their site, which is multiple hundreds of acres.
It's right behind the 10-acre site that IDC sold to them, that we annexed in, 3 or 4 months ago.
Right.
Kind of council, any questions? I'll entertain that motion to adopt resolution 22-022R.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin,
Second.
Councilman Brawley. Those in
Wilson,
favor?
aye.
Good, right.
Drake, aye.
Rowley, aye.
All right, that passes 4-0. Item 9, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 22-005 for the city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance and map of the city of Red Oak, Texas, as heretofore amended by granting a change in zoning from agricultural district AG to planned development 137, PD 137, for a mixture of retail uses on approximately 26.69 acres out of the 836 GC Parks Survey located at 100 Interstate I-35E. I want to say I-35E. I apologize. City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas. Said property being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated here, and providing for a concept plan, grading plan, utility plan, landscape plan, land development regulation attached hereto as Exhibits B through F, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, and providing an effective date. Case ZC 22-10 requested by for Eugene et al. Okay.
Eugene Moore.
Okay. Mr. Hartman, are you doing this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is, the property, pretty large undeveloped tract located at the corner of 35 and Red Oak Road. Look at your screen there, you got the Hampton venue, Mara Estates, and then if you'll remember, or if you've seen the apartments, that are being, that are under construction right now. So we've had a few different meetings with the, now landowner, how they wanted to develop it. It's been a lot of different things, and kind of what they've landed on here is a zoning case that will allow them to market the property. So what this zoning will give them is the ability to go out and find tenants or find developers that want to develop it. So what they've provided is a basic site plan, we'll call it concept plan is what we're calling it, with 2 different areas. It's broken out into section 1 and section 2. So in the pink here, section 1.
Yours didn't switch. You pulled it up on our Zoom too, right?
I'm sorry, I did not. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you've got section, in the pink, you've got section 1, and then the light blue, you got section 2. So they have done a layout, just kind of as proof of what could fit there. And so in section 1, it allows, in this zoning document, it allows for basic general retail, which could include small shops, small businesses, small restaurants, things like that. And then it also allows for up to 2 drive-throughs. Now, on this concept plan, they've located the drive-throughs, over here, facing Red Oak, which is good. And then in addition to that, the section allows for one gas station, in our ordinance, it's called a convenience gas pumps. In the back, in section 2, is meant for your larger retailers, your quote-unquote big box guys. And so the intent for that area is to find somebody that will take down 100,000 square feet or more, to occupy that space. With, you know, the hope that the pads out front will be subsidiary to the larger user. They don't have anyone today that is ready to do anything. Again, this is more of a marketing piece for them to say they at least have some entitlement. But anytime that anybody comes back to develop anything on this site, it will have to come back forth to you in the form of a development plan. And that'll be not only a site plan, but the user, the landscape plan, and then any other site elements that may be needed. I do want to kind of just share, they've got a real basic landscape plan, but again, it's going to be site-driven, and it's going to be a site-by-site development plan that we get to re-review anytime anybody comes in. We did ask them to try to make some allowances to integrate some of this area in the back. It's pretty heavily wooded right now, and there's a lot of topo change in there, and there's a creek running through there, so they didn't think that they would be maybe developing that, but we would like to see it integrated somehow into the development so that, you know, maybe there's just a little trail that runs back through there. So they did show that on the plan, and they did show to kind of undercut and clean up the junk, underbrush, so that it could be at least utilized in some form or fashion. But again, the general intent is just so that they have a marketing piece to go out to buyers and or tenants. And the applicant is here tonight. If you have any other questions, maybe able to answer them better.
So conceptually, how big is 100,000 square feet? What is that?
I think the Walmart's 85. Isn't the Walmart like 80 something?
No, Walmart, I think, is 184.
Oh, 184. Okay.
A little over 2 there.
Brookshire's is about 40.
Okay.
Nice. Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, and they did provide some just quick concept, kind of buildings, types, and styles, but again, these would all come back as part of the development plan.
and it could be each small one individual.
Right, that's
Okay.
the intent. Each lot would have, you know, even if it's a strip center, it would have, the whole strip center would come back for the zoning change to show the appropriate amount of parking and the appropriate amount of landscaping and all that.
And then the drainage too, would that be
Right.
site specific for the
Yep.
whole thing all at
Yep.
once, or?
Yeah, they have shown there is a pond on the site right now, right here. The drainage intent is not, clear at this time, so it could be, but based on the way the site is laid out in this concept plan, it would have to be a shared detention, somewhere back in this area.
Okay.
But they could, depending on how it actually gets laid out, they could have individual small detention ponds for each little development. But it would make more sense to do a single share.
Yeah. We got mosquito brewers and all over the place. All right, sweet. So, council, this is a public hearing. So the time is 7:32. I'll open the public hearing. And we have Matthias Albert? Albert? Okay, great. If you would state your address and
Sure. Matthias Albert, 6017 Main Street in Frisco, Texas, here on behalf of the landowner. Ben summed it up pretty solid what we're trying to achieve here. Right now, the site's currently zoned ag, so it'd have to be, really rezoned anyways, whatever the design intent would be here. What we're after is to attract a big box retailer. As you guys mentioned, there's not really a big box user outside of Walmart here in the city limits. So that's what we're trying to attract. Once we get that big box user, some of these pad sites and things like that, which is naturally kind of fill in behind it. And so we know that this is a working concept plan. We know that we're gonna have to come back in front of you guys. So that's the reason why some of this is maybe a little bit loose. It's just to basically be able to put this out there and attract some of those big box users that we're after. I know it could be a grocery store, it could be home improvement, it could be a number of different users. Really, I think the only big item that we've tied down is just the size. We're gonna hit that 100,000 square feet, and that's kind of what we're after to attract that big box user. We've been having emails with, I can tell you here on the record, Lowe's Home Improvement and Costco are currently looking at this. So, not making any promises, but those are the types of users that we're already in talks with, as this thing is getting entitled here in front of you. So, with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions that you guys might have, but, that's kind of our intent here and what we're looking to achieve with this, zoning PD.
Thank you. Was there anybody else here that wanted to speak on this and did not get to sign up? Okay. Was there anybody online? Thank you, Mr. Hibbert. We have questions. We'll come back.
Sure thing, I'll be ready.
I'll entertain a motion at 7:34 to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Councilman Brawley, Councilman Wilson. Those in favor of closing?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
All right, that closes 4-0. How exciting, we're always looking for these type of developments, kind of bring some of the larger stores in, so we hope that's kind of goes on. Councilman, did y'all have any questions that he might be able to answer also? Or I know staff's been working with them for a while on some of their concepts.
Does that pond that's existing there, it backs right up to that detention pond?
And again, that's all,
Yeah, the apartment pond is,
that'll all have to come out too in the planning, development plan and
Right.
so forth. So another thing would be the jug handle there, they may have to add a lane on the jug handle, but we won't know that until we get into design.
right, and they'll have to, any connections out here or to the jug handle will also be permitted through TechDOT. That'll have to be looked at that time.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 22005.
So moved.
Councilman Drake,
Second.
Councilman Brawley. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
That passes 4-0. Thanks for coming down from Frisco. It's a good town down here, you ought to move down here.
Right.
All right, item 10, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 22006, the city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance and map of the city of Red Oak, Texas, as heretofore amended by granting a change in zoning from agricultural AG to planned development 134, PD 134, for 114 single-family lots, one commercial lot on approximately 84.665 acres out of the Lucy Vaughn Survey, abstract number 11003, generally located on the southeast corner of Benson Lane and Pratt Road, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas. Said property being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein, providing for a for the planned development regulations, elevations, use summary, development plan, landscape plan attached hereto as exhibits B through F, providing the repealing clause, providing the severability clause, providing the savings clause, providing the penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, providing an effective date, case DC 22-05, requested by Wildwood Development Company. Mr. Hartman.
All right, this one's way out on the edge of town. If you kind of follow Villa and then go straight south on Pratt, it's down here here's Vincent here, Pratt, and then 2377 comes around. So it is currently in the city limits, zoned ag, and so we're looking for a residential development here. Before I get into the layout, I'll kind of go through some of the streets. So Vincent Lane is in pretty rough shape. It's a small road. Fire had concerns with access, but it ultimately kind of turns into a dirt road as you get down towards the end of their development. And so we had a lot of kind of back and forth, and ultimately what was decided was needed to be upgraded to at least 24 foot wide of concrete so that we could have appropriate emergency access back there. Pratt Road is one of our major collectors, 100-foot right-of-way, so they are dedicating right-of-way along Pratt. And then also in our comprehensive plan, there's a lot of talk of our utilizing our major thoroughfares for commercial corridors. And so with Pratt Road being one of our a major collector, and then 2377 being a major collector in the future as well, we wanted to make sure we had some commercial viability. Now, it's not today, it's not 5 years from now, it's probably not even 20 years from now, but 30 or 40 years from now, there will be enough homes out here to support some kind of commercial something here at the corner of Pratt and 2377. So we worked a lot with the developer, and they were able to cut out a chunk here in the corner, and I'll show you, for future commercials, about 6.5 acres or so. Again, probably we're way ahead of our time here on this one, but we have to keep it, otherwise we'll end up with the Beckley Pikes again at the corner of a super major intersection. Let's jump to the layout.
And while he's getting there, if you'll remember, it's been 2 or 3 months ago, but they actually brought this just as a discussion item. So, they're just bringing back the results of having gone through that process.
Right. So here's what the layout looks like. The red here is the commercial, again, about 6 acres. Pratt, significant right-of-way dedication here along Pratt. And then Vincent Lane, like I said, we'll be widening it up and changing over from asphalt and dirt to concrete section for emergency access. We are leaving a stub here. There's a pretty significant chunk of land here to the out to the east that could be developed. So hopefully, if it does go residential out here in the near future, we've got a good connection here to interconnect the neighborhood. Let's get to the aesthetics here. So it's a large lot subdivision. You're looking at half acres or more with larger estate style homes. They will be on septic, but the developers provided some good renderings of the types of homes they're shooting for. High value, again, larger estate style homes to be put out on these bigger lots. And they do have a deeper setback. It's 30 feet versus our typical 20-25 in a standard subdivision, which gives it, again, more of the streetscape. Gives it a little more girth to the between houses, face to face anyway.
How wide are the lots?
I'm sorry?
How wide are the lots?
I think it's minimum 100, if I remember right. Yeah, so a minimum of 100 by 200, with a minimum lot area, a half acre. But high quality material, high value, you know, large square footage. You know, a move-up buyer, it's a move-up home, for sure, is certainly the intent of this development. On the landscaping, I'll show you color. So the focus on any subdivision is the perimeter, right? What are we seeing as we drive by? So I'll kind of walk you around the perimeter here. So we'll have a divided entry off Pratt, good landscaping here with some signage out in front, meandering sidewalk as we do in most of the other developments along the major thoroughfare here. They are doing a nice corner feature here, with some subdivision branding here. It'll say Hunter's Ridge, up on the corner, as well as there'll be an entry monument here, within the divided median. And then along Pratt, this will be, because it'll be our larger right-of-way here, they'll do a brick screening wall. I'll show you a rendering here in a second. They'll have standard stone columns, but then over a certain distance, they'll have, I think it's every 50 feet, they'll have a kind of a feature column, which I'll show you that here in a second. Along Vinson, again, you've got the newly constructed roadway here, and what they're doing here is a black wrought iron fence with stone columns every 50 feet. We've got a secondary entrance, like a minor entry. It still is divided, but it's not as grand as the one coming off Pratt here. So again, that black wrought iron will come down here with the metal columns, or I'm sorry, the brick columns, and then down here, they're creating, they're required detention, but they're trying to dress it up a little with a walking path. There'll be some benches around the walking path, and then they've got a cluster mailbox here. P&Z did have some concerns about with the post office now requiring that the cluster mailbox be in a singular location. As to mean, like a year and a half ago, they were still allowing to have them kind of sporadically throughout the neighborhood, but now they're saying, nope, they got to be in one spot. There's concern with, people coming in and parking their car to get their mail all the time, where are they all going to park? And so they did provide some parallel parking here right next to the mailbox to alleviate that concern. Here's a rendering of the entry monument. This is at the divided entry. So, a multifaceted, multi-layered stone and brick feature. So it'll look real nice out there in the front as you enter in, with additional landscaping moving in behind it. There's the plan view you can see. This is showing along Pratt, your trees spaced every 40 feet, then your masonry wall there. And this is the detention area we were just talking about. So they've got the sidewalk going around, benches sit on, and then your mailbox area will be right here. So it's the mailbox area. You want people to walk there, but they just won't. So you've got a few parking spaces for people that want to drive there, and then obviously a sidewalk connection for those who will walk. They're also providing a small pergola here as just a feature to enjoy the nature that they're trying to create around the detention, because it is dry detention, so it can be at least viewed or utilized in other ways besides just as a detention pond when it is actually dry. And here's a rendering of the screening wall along Pratt. Again, you've got kind of a regular stone column and then a feature column every 50 feet, I believe. And you've got the decorative metal along Vincent with the stone columns. And this is that corner feature I was saying that was up there at the corner of Pratt and Vincent, looking out at Vincent. So as you're headed southbound on Pratt, you can see this nice feature wall with some heavier landscaping. So overall, a nice development. This is just a use summary for the commercial lot. It's similar to what we had just talked about. When someone comes in to do commercial, it's specifically spelled out in here that they've got to come back to council for a development plan and landscape plan, all that stuff. So, but I doubt any of us are ever going to see that one. But overall, good development, high quality. Developer really worked with staff and making sure that we got all the documents we needed to show you guys and present this to you guys tonight.
Sounds great.
So like Cole Road and Cole Manor.
Similar.
Too bad Tommy Lee Jones is continuing his polo ponies down at the end of the polo field. I used to take care of his horse down there. So, he could pay for that road,
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So this is a public hearing. So I will entertain the public hearing at, or start the public hearing at 7:49. Is there anyone that cares to speak on this? Judge, come.
Thank y'all for the opportunity to be able to bring this development before y'all. My name's Chad Adams, live in Midlothian, Texas. Been around the area for a while. Just want to real quick point out some of my team members with me. Steve Yurtrek here. He's worked with the staff on a regular basis. Molly Adams, my daughter, and then Jim Witten, the realtor that's involved with this project as well. I just want to just stop and pause. It is sometimes in neighboring communities, we can spend 6 to 8 months getting through the process that we got through with the city of Red Oak in 1 month. And we could not believe the turnaround time that the staff had when we submitted something. Literally the next day, we had responses and comments back. And that is just really important for you guys to know about the staff. The other thing is the consistency that you guys have communicated to the P&Z about what they wanted, and got communicated to staff about what they wanted. We don't see that a lot of times in cities. We see a conflict between P&Z and city council, and that just makes things so much easier for us, because we know what kind of vote's gonna be. Apologize to go into all that, it's not really about the development, but I think it's important for you guys to know that you guys are doing a good job building consistency. It's not been easy. I mean, nobody let off that Vincent Road, no matter how many times we ran after it. It was like, no. And then finally Todd had to stick the fire marshal on us and say, no way. So anyhow, we'd be happy to answer. The one thing I would like to note, though, we had some community that came out at P&Z, they had concerns. We've addressed those concerns with some vegetation. But the one issue that we haven't addressed that they asked for was a higher square footage minimum. We, in this PD, we have it at 2,200 square foot, and I promised them that we would look at a higher square footage. We went back, we looked at it, and we'd like to raise that to 2,400 square feet minimum. I don't know how you can do that in the PD tonight. Right now. Okay.
Please make a motion.
Yeah, multiple motions.
Okay. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Judge Adams. Anyone else? I entertain a motion at 7:52 to close this public hearing. Councilman Goodwin?
Second.
Councilman Drake? Those in favor?
Goodman, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
4-0. All right. I think it's some of those upper houses that we kind of like, so that's great. I think it's a compliment to the Downs, what is the Shallow Downs that's across the street, those are larger houses too, so I think that may be where some of that comment may have been coming from. Any other questions or concerns, council?
Were there any concerns on PNC?
No, they had asked, that when we brought it to you guys, that there'd be some clarification on some of the items in the landscape area and some updated exhibits, for basically the landscaping and screening, which they provided.
So I do have one question, it's just for clarification, so that everybody knows when we're moving forward from tonight. So where the wrought iron fence is along Vinson, will there be privacy fencing behind that, or will there not be, or, I just want clarification.
I think the intent would be no, that the fencing, the wrought iron fencing is the fencing, not, otherwise it would be a brick screening wall.
I think the neighborhood looks great. I like that. But I did have concerns with the line. We have backyards or people on Vincent that want that. Backyard.
So what we had talked about at P and Z was doing, requiring that they planted, Meliar Stevens. They said a minimum 48-inch Meliar Stevens holly that would, end up growing to the top of the fence, but having it planted, on day one, as instead of, sometimes they'll plant like a bush this tall, they're like, oh, it'll get there, but they were saying to plant a already kind of halfway mature Meliar Stevens that is bushy and would take up almost the entire, so the opaqueness is created by the landscaping versus the wood fence. And that would be in the HOA maintained lot versus the owner maintained lot.
And my question was just for consistency. I mean, I just worry about you'll be going down 5 lots, and then you'll have one that puts a privacy fence out there, and then
Right.
3 that don't, and 2 that do.
Right.
So that's really all I was trying to get clarification on.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben,
Yes.
this is Bob. Will that require any further tweaking of your development regulations that are attached? I know they want to do 24 100 square foot houses, which I've made that note, and I'll include that if there's a motion to approve. But with regard to this green screen with the decorative metal fencing, is that reflected in the landscape plan?
It's not, the landscape plan is not detailed. It's,
Okay, we'll add the Nellie R. Stevens green screen with the decorative metal fencing then as a condition.
okay.
What you think, builders may put a fence back behind?
Well, that's what I'm questioning. And I don't know whether you want it or you don't want it. I just would hate to see some of it and not all of it one way. I think it needs to be all one way, whichever way it is.
Yeah, I think the intent, when we were discussing it, was that either it's a brick screening wall or wrought iron with brick columns and green screening. So that the intent is that their rear property fence is either one of those two, and then their side property fence will be a standard stockade fence.
Okay. Well, as long as it's clear in there, that's what it is, because what'll happen is somebody will come in and say, I want a privacy fence back there, and we need to have something that says, well, you can't have it.
Yeah.
But
So
one way or the other, like I say, I don't really care which way,
Yeah,
it just needs to be.
If you want, we can just include it in the motion to specifically disallow the privacy fence along Benson.
Chad, that works with you?
We'd be more than happy to do that. I prefer you doing it right now. We can do it also in the CCNRs, but if you guys do it right now, it's fine.
Okay.
You didn't say cyclone fence on the sides, did you? What'd you say? Sight?
Stockade.
Stockade.
Sign yard.
All right.
Barbed wire.
making sure. Barbed wire, here we go. Okay, any other questions, council? All right, I'll entertain a motion with those amendments.
2,400 square foot minimum, Nellie R. Stevens, minimum 48-inch height, space 36, I guess it'd be spaced, 6 foot, if that's how big they are. Okay, space 6 foot.
On
And,
center.
prohibit wood fencing along Vincent Lane.
Oh,
Got it.
how much distance on those wrought iron fences between the upright,
I think they're.
Well,
4 inches.
Is it true wrought iron or is it decorative metal? Because there is a difference. Wrought iron,
It's black,
Decorative metal.
yeah, it's just black decorative metal.
I mean, and
Okay.
part of the reason, that's exactly what I was asking about, Ben, because somebody wants a dog in the backyard, if they got a little bitty dog, they're just gonna run through the wrought iron.
I sell donuts.
but, I think to have the builders put in a stockade sized fence back there probably. They're not facing outward there, you know, and so I would prefer a privacy fence if I were there myself.
I would personally, because my dog's gonna get loose.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, like I say, I just wanna make sure that it's consistent, whatever we do.
That's
And I
the
wanna
thing.
do it now, where we're not having people coming in and
Even-
asking Ben and building
Right.
inspector questions.
So-
I wanna
so
know
what
what it
we-
is today.
To get the consistency on a wood fence, right? It would need to be built at the time of development, stained all at the time of development, and then it could, I guess, be in control of the HOA, because the HOA would be controlling the metal fence anyway, and that way they could replace it all at once, because the problem with the wood fence is that this guy takes care of his, this guy doesn't take care of his, and then they're getting replaced at different times, the stain fades on this one, the stain still looks good on this one, and so, to your point about consistency, it's hard with wood fences, especially, you know, going along a straight run of road like that, so. But it could be in control of the HOA.
Well, I'm gonna take this a little bit further. It may sound far-fetched, but dog fighting, animals. I'm gonna go ahead and say a toddler. A toddler.
Oh, yeah.
A toddler.
I don't know what the solution is.
But it's 4-inch spacing. Do you know what the spacing is?
Yes.
Sure, please.
So we've got, it's about a 4-inch spacing that's in between each one of those wrought irons. And if we, you know, assign this to the HOA to resolve, okay, so we can do is we can just make the CCNRs govern that particular fence. So when people do have concerns about their dogs, it's the HOA that's gonna handle that issue, you know, and this happens all the time in all development. So, you know, my little dog got out, what do I do? Well, you can't put this kind of chicken wire up, but you can put this, you know, and it's not gonna be chicken wire, but they leave it to the HOA to resolve and to develop the consistency, rather than to put a wood fence up there. I don't think wood is gonna really have the longevity, you know, that we're after, and I think that the staff and you all have communicated as far as the classy look.
We're probably not skunk-proof, we're just
Scott-proof?
skunk-proof
I've seen a combination of both. If you look up at the screen there, this was a wrought iron fence that was kind of, they just took pickets and screwed them in between each one. I don't know if that is, I don't particularly like that look, but it kind of achieves what you're trying to do.
if,
The width is white.
I don't know.
The width of white. Two of the, planks.
4-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, our thought is, we let the homeowner association resolve this consistent with, the entire development, rather than to try and put together a solution from this point.
So the plant's acting as the visual barrier to those backyards. And, Mr. Fuller brought up, you know, that decorative or black vinyl chain link that the homeowner could put up on the backside of that they're responsible for. That way it still has that integrity of the metal, 4-inch wrought iron. You know, I don't know.
What, Mayor, this is Bob. If, for our regulations, we require the metal fence and then prohibit wood fencing. And then I think the suggestion that the developer made is to allow them to handle it. We'll just say that no fencing or interior fencing immediately adjacent can be constructed of wood material and be visible from the public right away.
Council, you good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, Council, thank you, sir. Councilman Drake, you know, there's that regulation that, no spacing can be greater than 4 inches, for safety of, like for pools, people slipping through and things like that, so that would be why it's probably 4 inches, so. So with those amendments, whoops.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah,
Go
please.
Just, okay, so we got 2,400 square foot minimum living area, LER Stevens, minimum 48 inches tall, spaced 6 feet apart on center, and then, Bob, help me out, prohibit
Yeah.
any,
Prohibit any interior fencing to be constructed of wood elements.
along Benson.
Along Benson. Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain that motion with those amendments to approve ordinance number 22-004.
So moved.
That's Councilman Goodwin, second by Raleigh.
I'm sorry, was that ordinance number 22004 or 22006?
I'm sorry, 22-006, thanks, Morris. I apologize. Yeah, Councilman Goodwin, you good with that? 22-006? Councilman Brawley?
Yes.
Okay, with those amendments, thanks, Ms. Morris. Those in favor?
Goodman, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
That's 4-0. Got it? All right, good. All right, item 11, consider approval of preliminary plat of proposed planned development 134, PD 134, for approximately 114 single-family homes associated open spaces and one commercial lot on approximately 84.54 acres of the Lucy Bond Survey Abstract 1103, further described as being generally located at the southeast corner of Vince and Pratt Road, City of Red Oak, Texas, case PS 22-02, requested by Wildwood Development.
Okay, this is just the preliminary plat for the development we just spoke about. Complies with everything we just spoke about, and we don't need to add anything to it based on the comments, just motion.
Okay. Council, any questions?
I would like to say I appreciate the staff and the fast on the commercial lot there. Like a beautiful development. And I appreciate the developer for the concession.
Still think you hit up Tommy Lee Jones, but
He probably tore it up.
yeah, he did tear it up with that big old truck. All right, council, consider, approval of the preliminary plat for planned development PD 134.
So moved.
Councilman Drake,
Second.
Councilman Brawley. Those in favor?
Goodman, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
4-0. Excellent.
Yes, you do it slow, okay.
Thank you all very much. And then we appreciate the feedback on staff. You know, it's always good to, again, I think that you need to move to Red Oak as opposed to staying in Midlothian. We think this is the best city, or I do anyway, in Ellis County. Hey, yeah, come on, help yourself. Conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 22-007 of the city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning and map of the city of Red Oak, Texas as heretofore amended by granting a change in zoning, commercial District 1, C1, to plan development 136, PD 136, to allow for commercial retail use and to allow for a reduction in landscaping along the depth and parking regulations of approximately 0.347 acres at the property addressed as 501 North State Highway 342, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas. Said property being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, providing for the site plan, floor plan, and site photos attached hereto as Exhibit B through E, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, and providing an effective date. Case ZC 22-07, requested by Amir Ebedit.
Yep.
Close enough? All right, good. Mr. Hartman.
This is a small shop over there on 342. Here's Triumph right here next door across the track.
You're not broadcast.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the property's here, Triumph is here, 342, and the old railroad tracks here. This used to be Red Oak Tire and Wheel, if you guys ever have driven by there in the past. It was purchased by a new owner who is doing quick lube oil changes. It was in the C1 district. C1 requires certain amount of parking, certain amount of landscaping, certain lot depths, which this site, as you know, is constrained by both 342 and the railroad track. And when the new owner bought it, he came in for a CO, and our zoning ordinance requires us that when a change of CO happens or a change of ownership, we require that they come into compliance with all of the updated landscaping. So because of their site constraints, they can't do that. And so they have provided as much as they can. They are adding concrete parking over on this side of the lot, which, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. So you can see here that it's all gravel right now. So they are going to install concrete here, and they are also adding in these parking spots. They are adding as much landscaping as they can. They're adding some planters out here in front of these columns, just to try to green up some of the area. But this is what it looks like now. It's already all bricked, got stucco on the sides, and so those planters will be added here along these columns, just to, again, give it a little greenery, and then all this gravel will go from gravel to concrete. So certainly a improvement. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I did go in there, and the new owner is very nice, so. Okay, so this is a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing at 8:12. Is there anyone here or online to speak on this public hearing? Item 12. Owner's not on it. We'll entertain a motion at 8:13 to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, that's Councilman Goodwin, second by Brawley. Those in favor of closing?
Goodwin, aye. Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
All right, that was 4-0 plus the peanut gallery back there, with an outburst. All right.
Was there any land that
They don't own that property. No, they have been illegally parking there and told them they should, so if you look at the screen there, their property line's right there.
Okay.
See how close it is to the building?
Right.
So, the Red Oak Tire and Wheel, they were using it for parking. So, I think we had to get onto them a couple times, tell them to stop parking over there.
So what's that storage building?
In the back,
To the side, to the north side, right there.
the parking?
Yeah.
I have no idea. There's a shed that is existing out there right now. So they keep tires or parts or something in it.
So that's the dumpster right there by the building, right?
Yeah.
And then that one, so there wasn't any discussion about them coming back with that parking or to the side of the building?
No, they've been operating like that for years. So the thought was,
Just to
at least get it cleaned up in the front, and, they will let us, know by submitting a permit to add more parking back there if they actually need parking.
Okay, so they go to the fence line where that vehicle is?
Yes, so their property line is here, and right about here. And like I said, you can kind of see, that previously it's been used, and we were getting on to the
No,
previous.
at the north end, at the north end,
Yes, this is the property line. North side.
no, that's the property line.
Yeah,
Okay,
right, on the north side, yes.
okay, that's where that fence is, and that's where the concrete's gonna go all the way to that?
Correct.
Okay. There may have been a lag, you may have been pointing up there, but Mike
I'm
was
sorry.
slow to catch up.
Sorry.
So, okay. Council, any other questions about this? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 22-007.
So moved.
Councilman Drake, second by Councilman Wilson. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
4-0. Item 13, conduct a public hearing and approve ordinance number 22-008, the City of Red Oak, Texas, amending comprehensive zoning and map of the City of Red Oak, Texas, as heretofore amended by granting a change in zoning from Plan Development 10, PD 10, to Plan Development 10, Revised 1, PD 10, R1, to allow for reduction in parking and landscaping as a result of right-of-way expansion by the Texas Department of Transportation for widening of 664 on approximately 1.155 acres, Lot R, 1R, Block C of S&H Business Park, Phase 1, located at 109 Harris Avenue, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas. Said property being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, providing for the renewal of the site plan, landscape plan, elevation plan, pole sign plan attached hereto as Exhibit B through E, providing the repealing clause, providing the severability clause, providing the savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, providing an effective date. Case DC 22-08, requested by Golden Arch Limited Partnership. Mr. Hartman.
All right, this is, real close to the Ovilla, 35 overpass. With the expansion of of 664 here, TxDOT is needing some right-of-way from them here in the front. and it actually, kind of messes up their, traffic flow. They have this current driveway that goes in front, so you've got the ability to wrap around the building in its entirety. So with that taking, they were gonna lose this, and as part of their internal function, they did not want to lose that, and so they're actually gonna cut off a portion of the front of the building so that they can move this drive lane back and still have it to help their space or their site function appropriately. So in doing that, we, obviously had to bring up our parking regulations and what it would mean to get a permit and everything, to do all that, and they were short. They are expanding this parking lot back here to this green area. They're providing 58 spaces. Our ordinance would require 63, so they're short 5, but, as y'all know, that this type of business is solely driven by drive-through, or much of it's driven by drive-through. But, so they have provided a new site plan, a new landscape plan, which they're actually able to, meet everything that we asked for in the landscaping and come into, compliance. They were short on the parking, and then they provided new elevations as well. So, we're looking at so they're adding a driveway into the back. This is the south side, so you'll be able to enter in from the back now, and then they're closing the driveway onto the existing Shirah, and then adding landscaping, continuing the sidewalk, and then adding parking over here as well. Like I said, they still wanted to put in the access in the front, and so they were able to still make that happen. But again, I'll show you the elevation. We were having to redo the front of the building, so it'll look very similar. Materials meet all of our zoning ordinance standards. High quality, 100% masonry.
So that first one was the lopping off of that.
This is the front of the building right here. So it looks similar, just a nice fresh update with fresh materials. And that's the rear. The east side and west side. I'm sorry, the east side. You have any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, they also included the signage in here. It's their existing sign, which they are able to keep.
So I guess, so if they're two things, so that's Sharif Avenue right now, but they still carry the, Harris Avenue address?
I guess that's the way the post office has dictated that they get their mail. You know, I don't know if it's somehow over here where Harris dead ends into it, or if it's, I don't know, Todd, do you know the history? Does that used to always be Harris, or?
It used to be Harris all the way around, wasn't it?
Yeah, so maybe it just didn't get changed with the post office.
Okay, and so if they're gonna close that one that is facing that entrance, that one right there,
Yep.
and they're gonna have a new entrance right there, and they're gonna have to loop, people are gonna have to loop back all the way around or come in off of a little road and turn in, get into their double turn lane?
Yes, so if you come in on the backside on Harris and you come this way, then yes, you would utilize that front circle, but then if you come in off of Villa, you would just come right in the line. Or if you came over from Brookshire's or Burger King, you would go through there like that.
So will that front, how does fire How does fire typically get in there? How would they get in there?
They would utilize the larger lanes, or, it is, I don't know what that exact distance is, but they could be on the street, I guess, if needed. I don't speak for them, but.
A lot of your westbound traffic was gonna go down the Roth Avenue too, because it's tough to
Because
get
there's not
in
gonna be
there.
a turn.
Yeah, there's no way to turn in there, you're westbound.
Well, even with
Without
the
taking a
development,
left,
right? Aren't they gonna close that off?
No, that'll still be there. They'll have a driveway there.
I'm gonna divide that median.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. It's bad enough before you put the median. So everybody other than eastbound Old Road is gonna have to go make that loop all the way around the building.
I assume they know that, right? Probably.
Yeah, I think they have the plans, so I'm sure they,
Since they're
yeah,
submitting it now.
right.
Okay. Cool. So this is a public hearing. Open the public hearing at 8:23. Anyone online or here to speak on this?
Yes, this is Matthew Porty at 8951 Cypress Waters Boulevard, Dallas, Texas. I'm the civil engineer of record for the project. Just here to answer any questions if you have them.
Excellent. Get that information. Close enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, entertain a motion at 8:24 to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin, second. Councilman Drake, those in favor?
Goodwin, aye. Drake, aye. Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
All right, that closes at 8:24. Any other questions that y'all have, council?
I'm here.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 22-008.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Brawley, Councilman Drake, those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
All right, that's, yeah, I appreciate y'all getting this submitted now before TxDOT starts, so excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it.
All right, item 14, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance 22-009, City of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive ordinance, zoning ordinance, and map of the City of Red Oak, Texas, as hereto amended by granting a change in zoning plan development, PD 4034, as previously revised to plan development 34, revised 5, PD 34R5, to allow for reduction in landscaping due to the right-of-way expansion for the TxDOT, Texas Department of Transportation, for the widening of Farm to Market Road 664 on approximately 1.417 acres on Lot 2, Block A, City of Red Oak Corners Retail, located at 109 East Ovillo Road, City of Red Oak, Texas, Ellis County, Texas. Said property being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, providing for the renewal of the site plan, landscape plan, sign plan attached hereto as exhibits B through D, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, providing an effective date. Case ZC 22-04, Mr. Hart.
Okay, this is just right down the street from, the case we were just talking about, to the east on Ovilla. Very similar situation. TxDOT widening the road. They're actually going to be losing, 5 of their very mature trees, which they're already in a PD, so their landscape plan dictated that they have to have these trees out there, so now we're having to, amend the site plan and landscape plan to account for the taking. So in discussion with P&Z, in order to try and get a little extra greenery, we discussed and they recommended that we add planters at the front of the building here, similar to what we just kind of talked about on the quick lube shop here at the corners of the columns. You know, adding a planter just to add some greenery. They are providing a little additional landscaping in this area. It's kind of just turf right now, so they're doing a little bit of extra landscaping here. And then P&Z also recommended that they add some shrubbery in here to account for the loss in these mature trees along the right of way. These are some representative planters with just a little bit of extra greenery in them, and then placing them in front of the pillars here, gives some extra color. But in general, it's we're just amending the PD so that they're in compliance with their zoning after TxDOT makes approval. And one other thing to note, the sign is in the way of the future driveway. The driveway is actually going to come up right next to the sign, and so they're going to need to move it back and lose this parking spot right here.
Till they end up with the number that they need for that.
Well, it depends. So the parking in a strip center like that is all dependent on the use. So they won't be able to have, you know, 5 restaurants in there because that's one space per 75 square feet. But in general, they would have enough of varying types of retail that they can have. And they can also, because they've got so much parking in some of these spots next door to them, they could do a parking agreement with the wall for like an extra 2 spaces or something if they wanted to. So they have options.
So are they gonna be able to avoid losing that front row of parking facing the building?
Yes, so I'm sorry, let me kind of show that very clearly. So, future sidewalk is gonna, or I'm sorry, the future right of way is this line right. So on that hashed mark, the hash line shows the new right of way. He's taking out their tree right there and taking that one out.
So they're gonna have the sidewalk right there and bumpers are gonna stick over the top of that.
Potentially, but it is a 6-foot sidewalk and you really only need, 36 inches to meet ADA sidewalk, so.
Sidewalk probably be back a curb.
Yeah, they probably will push it. In this case, they probably will push it to the back of the curb there.
On the roadside.
Yeah.
These planters are nice, if somebody keeps the class of water that's taken care of.
Right, and so that's, part of our zoning. If our code enforcement officer goes by and sees that there's a bunch of dead plants, then we'll send them a letter and say, hey, you're out of compliance with your zoning. Planters need plants.
Okay, so this is a public hearing. Open the public hearing at 8:32. Is there anyone online to speak on this?
Hello, this is Lisa Swift with GSO Architects, 5310 Harvest Hill, Dallas, Texas. We're here representing the owners and welcome any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Living a lot,
All right, I'll entertain a motion at 8:33 to close this public hearing.
so move.
Okay, Councilman Brawley, second Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
That's 4-0. The public hearing's closed. You know, again, appreciate staff making those recommendations, and they're agreeing to take those and bringing it forward. So I entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 22-009.
So move.
Councilman Goodwin, second by Councilman Drake. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Wilson, aye.
That's 4-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Item 15, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 22-010, the City of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance and map of the City of Red Oak, Texas, as hereto amended by granting a change in zoning from Plan Development 86, PD 86, Plan Development 86, Revised 1, PD 86 R1, for 26 single-family lots with approximately 6,500 square feet, 6,500 lots, and associated open space on approximately 6.694 acres out of the Robert Bell Survey, abstract number 60, described as being generally located north of Pierce Road and approximately 157 feet west of Dunn Street, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein, providing a development plan, providing regulations, entryway plan, landscape plan, mailbox plan, a detention plan attached hereto as Exhibits B through G, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, and providing an effective date. Case ZC 22-09 requested by JTM Corp. / Johnny and Tommy Quinn. Mr. Hartman.
Okay, this property is located kind of in the central portion of town, Pierce Road. There's Dunn Street and then 342. You've got the the Snap Fitness there. It's kind of located behind that. And I don't know if you guys were involved at the time, either on via P&Z or council. In 2017, I believe, the developer came with a layout that was very similar, and went through the zoning process. And I came on board, and when they went through the plating and engineering process, they kind of figured out, well, we can't really do what we zoned, what we were going to do. So they went back to the drawing board, hired a new engineer, and came up with a new layout and slightly different, and kind of accounted for some of the things that they were having issues with during the engineering review process in their layout. So looking at 26 single-family homes, minimum 2,200 square feet, which is higher than any base district we have, which is good. They will be on sewer, so standard density will apply here. So general, it's a horseshoe layout. So here are some of the elevations of the homes they're proposing. So they did allow for 25% of the lots to have front entry, and then 75% would have J entry. So you can see here it's a similar elevation with the J entry option for the product. In all high quality masonry materials.
What's the width,
Sorry,
width of the lots?
the minimum width is 60, and the square footage 6,500 a lot. So smaller than what we've been talking about, but they do have access to sewer. So the entry feature off of Pierce here, be divided, stone columns. They also have a nice entry monument with the subdivision branding on it, brick screening.
Will that be at both ends, both views?
I'm sorry.
The monument, will that be at both entrances?
That's what I guess we were assuming, based on the documents they provided.
Well, entryway, isn't this entryway plan?
Yeah. Yeah. They provided the exact same cross-section of, at both entries. With the divided on both sides.
Looks like it's wide.
So in the, again, going to the mailbox plan, what's required by the USPS, is a single point for the mailbox. So we asked them to kind of dress it up, put a canopy over it. They went ahead and just kind of created a little pocket park, for the entire, the mailbox center. Have a little seating area here, sidewalk through it, and then here's where you'd come collect your mail from. It will be encased in brick or stone here. They have that. This isn't the final design, but just clarifies the intent that it'll be masoned around it. The detention pond sits out in front along Pierce Road. They're going to have wrought iron and then some heavy landscaping within the pond area, so you can, as you drive by, you can see the landscaped area. They are providing an additional kind of seating area to just so that people can enjoy the open space if they wanted to. Here's some concepts of some of the plants they're using, and then their decorative ornamental metal fence examples that they tend to follow. If you guys have any other questions, let me know.
Thank you, sir. So this is also a public hearing. So let's open that public hearing at 8:40. For anyone online to speak on this? Hearing none, I will close this public hearing at entertain a motion to close this public hearing at 8:41.
So,
Councilman Brawley.
second.
Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Good one, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye. Very good.
All right, that was 4-0. So, council, any questions on this?
Did he come up at P and Z?
Nope.
Was there any discussion on what type of material for the garage door?
No, but they are kind of showing the decorative style on the doors, but we can certainly add one to motion, add something like that.
That's all I say, just to make sure they're.
Mayor and council, are they, Ben, are they showing a kind of coach style door? Is that what they're showing?
That's what these look
Cross
like.
members?
Yeah.
You could require the coach style doors on the garages that front the street. Swing that back to the developer, see if they're agreeable.
Right. So what was the issue? You know, last time we had an issue, but we know that road floods and everything. Is that what part of they come back?
Yeah, so they were, when they wrote the standards that were written couldn't meet, what they were trying to accomplish without losing several lots. It was a screening wall package, a landscape buffer, and a sidewalk area. Plus, you had to have a big open ditch for all that water. And so they couldn't accommodate it in the space that they thought they were accommodating, when they were doing the zoning. So when they got to the engineering and figured out, oh man, this ditch needs to be wider, now we have to push our landscaping and our screening wall back, and now we lose 1, 2, 3, 4 lots.
Ben, can you go to the mailbox area?
The site plan?
Yeah. Is there gonna be a lot of lighting at that spot? One of the things that, I asked Chief too, but one of the things that concerns me is everybody has to go to the mailbox. And if I've got a park there with park benches and bushes and trees and everything, it almost provides a stalker's haven for somebody to sit in the bushes or the park bench waiting for somebody to come get their mail.
Right. So the mailbox is right up at the right of way, right here. And then there would be lighting at these corners. So there would be a light somewhere in this area, like from a street light perspective, but we could certainly, add pedestrian lighting within this area. If we wanted to add that as well.
I think it's a good idea, I really do. We ought to be doing it on all of them, but, you know, I ought to make it just axiomatic for the city, any of those post office things should be well lighted.
Well,
Put it in the ordinance there, so.
my opinion is that's just a loop, that's only gonna be those people that are traveling that. So you're gonna know all those neighbors, there's only 24 houses in there.
Well, unless your ex-wife lives there and
Oh, yeah, well.
you know where she lives and you wanna go stalk her.
Well, he's not putting a light in there for me and you.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, just make sure it's lit, so. All right. Any other questions, Counselor? All right, so, I'll entertain the approval of ordinance number 22-010 with the amendment of the
Carousel doors, lighting,
okay?
lighting at the mailbox.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin, second is, Drake. Those in favor?
Goodman, aye.
Drake, aye.
Rowley, aye.
Is he on, or is
He
he?
is, Ron, you didn't come through. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay, I don't see him on here, okay, so that's 4-0? Okay. All right. There you go. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, I got you there. Item 16. Consider approval of a preliminary plat for the proposed plan development district 86R1.
Yes, sir. What are you doing?
86R1 for the development of 26 single-family residential lots and 7 common area lots of approximately 6.694 acres out of the Robert Bell Survey, abstract number 60, further described as being located north of Pierce Road and approximately 157 feet west of Dunn Street, City of Red Oak, Texas, case PS 22-04, requested by JTMN Corp., Johnny and Tommy.
So this is the preliminary plat for the development we just discussed, and it does not require any changes or updates based on the comments and discussions we've had, so it should be an approvable plat. Pretty straightforward.
All right, entertain that, a motion to approve the preliminary plat for plan development 86R1. Councilman Raleigh?
No, that's great.
Oh, okay, Councilman Drake?
Second.
Councilman Raleigh, those in favor?
Goodwin, aye. Raleigh, aye.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, you can only do it so fast. I didn't hear,
Ron?
Aye.
yep, that's 4-0. All right, we are going to actually go into executive session, at the time 8:49 pursuant to Texas government codes. Five five one dot 071, 551 dot 087, 551 dot 072. And then we will come back out and finish our open meeting.
Mayor,
Probably easier if we stay.
Mayor,
Yes.
just out of curiosity, can I get into the breakout room and I'll let Miss Morris go home?
You can't see what she did, but yeah.
I did nothing, Mr. Hager.
Well, you should have.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get in there.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
She laughed the whole meeting because we were.
Was disruptive.
Yeah, you guys are pretty entertaining. I will say that.
Okay.
I'm just
All right,
surprised.
so, we are gonna stay in here?
Yeah, I think probably so, since we've got everything set up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Great.
So we'll, if,
We can get-
audience, if we'll ask everybody to step out at the 8:49.
If we can get Ben Hartman
Did you get comfortable with this?
and Lee,
You can take a chair with you if you want to sit outside.
so Ben Hartman and Lee stay, and we'll let Alan come in since we're talking about it. Alan, if you want, Alan, if you want to stay in and talk about IDC stuff.
Sorry.
You
were laughing like, yeah, everything.
I'm hoping. Yeah, we need Gloria, and we need, Jim Sabonis. And Bob. And Ron.
Yeah, short meeting we got.
This open session, I don't think there's anything else to know.
Okay. Everybody across? Good? All right. So the time is, 9:21, and we will go back into open session. We will take up item 17, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 22-011, City of Red Oak, Texas, amending the City of Red Oak future land use plan and the map thereof as amended by amending the land use from single-family residential to industrial plan Area 5, PA 5, in the City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, as provided in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty clause of a fine not to exceed $2,000 for each offense, and providing an effective date. Mr. Hartman.
So this is a quick amendment to our future land use plan. As you guys know, we have had a lot of success through our IDC and EDC, getting big developers here to use industrial uses in our city, and we're now kind of out of area for industrial to go, and so working through our update to our comprehensive plan, we've identified some areas to the southern and eastern portions of the city that could be utilized for large-scale industrial-type developments, but currently the comp plan has them fleshed out for just large lot residential. And so what staff is proposing is that we change a big chunk of that area to PA5, which allows basically all the same things it does right now. It just includes allowing.
Pause just a little bit because other people wouldn't be able to see that. Can you get
sorry.
Get plugged back on? People online won't be able to see that area. Very good.
Okay, see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this area out here, I'll show you on Google Maps here where this exactly. Are we seeing the Google Maps image here?
No.
So 2377 is our ETJ boundary right now, and so you do have a lot of good. It's not showing. Okay. So 2377 is our current ETJ boundary. So there is a lot of large undeveloped tracts here in between Pierce and 2377. So yes, they can still go residential in PA5, but we also do want to allow something like an industrial user to come in there and purchase that land and bundle it together to do something big, similar to Compass or Google or Triumph. So all this does is allow us to say yes if they can. And like I said, in our current update to the plan, we have this as well as several other of these larger tract areas. We've included, we're kind of calling it like a high-tech opportunity area, for high-tech or high-tech manufacturing type uses. But we did want to go ahead and get this changed, in the interim.
Okay.
And P&Z gave a recommendation on this one.
Yes, to approve.
So this is a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing at 9:26. Is there anyone online or in person that cares to speak on the ordinance number 22-011? Yes. Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Moving to the top.
All right. Hearing no one, I'll entertain a motion to close at 9:27.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin. Second. Councilman Drake. Those in favor?
Aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
All right, I saw your lips move, so that's 4-0. Need any other explanation, council? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 22-011.
Moved.
Goodwin?
Yep.
Brawley?
Yes.
Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Yep, that's 4-0. Like what my wife would appreciate. Yeah, my lips are not here. All right, item 18. Consider approval of an expenditure of the City of Red Oak Industrial Development Corporation, the CROIDC, in the amount of $7,614,150, plus additional closing costs, if any, for the acquisition of 203.044 acres, plus or minus acres, land located east of Lawrence Road, west of Pratt Road, south of Pierce Road, and north of 2377 Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas.
Lee, can you pull that one map back up?
Sorry.
Can you pull that one map back up real quick? And this is in the area that Mr. Hartman was just discussing. So this particular item number 18 is in relation to,
But it was just shared like that.
there you go. So this comprises the 83.808 acres and the 119.236 acres from Billy Joe Oglesby. And then the following item, just so we don't have to go back through it again, would be the 159.123 acres from Darren and Dawn Vineyard. So IDC voted earlier tonight to approve both of these land purchases, as well as what we'll see in item number 20 as well, the financing plan to move forward with a bond issuance for those. So IDC has already approved, staff recommends approval of all three of these items. And as Mr. Hartman said before, this is where we will be able to do industrial development now that we have been successful in our other areas where we've kind of set ourselves up. Moving forward, that we're gonna have to start over. Any questions?
All right, I'll entertain, approval for item 18.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin, second. Councilman Gray. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Have a thumbs up, Ron.
All right, that's 4-0. Item 19 goes along with this. This is consider approval of expenditure of the City of Red Oak Industrial Development Corporation in the amount of $6,126,236 plus additional closing costs, if any, for the acquisition of 159.123 plus or minus acres of land located east of Rams, west of Pratt, south of Pierce Road, and north of 2377 Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas. Just like what Mr. Fuller said, any questions on this one? Okay, entertain that motion to approve that expenditure. Okay, Councilman Drake and then Councilman Raleigh. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Ron? He disappeared.
Quit.
Quit on.
Now he's back on. He's muted. There he is.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
All right, that's 4-0. Item 20, just like what we heard about before, this is consider the plan for financing prepared by Hilltop Securities for the issuance of Industrial Development Corporation sales tax revenue refunding and improvement bonds, taxable series 2022, authorizing the city staff and financial advisors to move forward with the proposed financial plan to issue the bond. Need any other explanation?
I think so. Bob, is there any particular motion that needs to be made other than just motion to approve?
No, motion to approve is fine. The actual documents that have to be approved will be done later.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve this financing prepared by Hilltop Security. Okay, Councilman Drake.
Second.
Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Raleigh, aye.
Thumbs up, Ron.
All right, 4-0. We are skipping item 21. Item 22, discuss the comprehensive land use plan and park plan.
I just wanted to give a quick update. We've been working with Freese & Nichols. We got back a big round of comments a couple weeks ago, and they are working on them and should have them back to us first part of April. And then we'll kind of hold our final meeting of the steering committee. And if there's no big comments that come from that, we can move on with adoption of it, hopefully in that next month.
Okay. Council, was there any questions that you had on that? Councilman Goodwin? You good?
Yeah.
Councilman Wilson, you good? All right. All right, so that was more than informational, so it's coming back to us in April, hopefully. Board appointments. So appointments and reappointments, resignation for both boards and commissions. Consider approval of the library board, appointment of Kevin Lee as a regular member of the remainder of the 2-year term from October 2022 to October 2020, October 2020 to October 2022. And appointment of Lauren Crane as an alternate member for the remainder of the 2-year term from October 2020 to October 2022. I'll entertain those, that approval. Councilman Brawley, second by Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Goodwin, aye.
Drake, aye.
Brawley, aye.
That's 4-0, thanks, sir. All right, now we're at departmental reports. Chief Flint.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to update y'all. Last month, we had 2 of our personnel that were deployed to the Texas Panhandle through TIFMAS. Our personnel assisted with several fires in and around the Amarillo area during this deployment, preparing for a large wind event, and they ended up having several fires in that area, and they were successful in stopping a pretty large fire before it moved into a neighborhood and destroyed any homes. So kudos to our personnel that went out there and took time away from their families and assisted our fellow Texans. Also wanted to let y'all know we go to Appleton, Wisconsin next month for our pre-construction meeting of the new Quint for the fire truck. This is a kickoff to our Quint being built. It's still on schedule to be completed by the end of the year. Just want to give you all that update, and hopefully April or May I should have some more updates as that starts to move forward. We should get some updated pictures as they start to build the apparatus and that sort of thing. So keep y'all informed on that. Just wanted to make sure everybody's aware we're getting into the spring storm season, as you've already seen earlier this afternoon. We just encourage everyone to be weather aware and have multiple ways of being notified of the severe storms, because we're getting into that tornado and severe storm season. So other than that, I don't have anything unless council has any questions.
Thanks, Chief. Chief Wolf.
Council, just a few things. Wanted to let you know that our 2 new recruits did start the academy on February 28th at the North Central Texas Council of Governments Regional Police Academy. Otto Kerr and Kateria Simpson are our 2 newest employees for the city, and they're currently in the academy. They should be out sometime around August from the academy, and they'll start field training. And then our officer of the quarter that was nominated and was awarded was Andrew Trim. So he's the officer of the quarter for the first quarter of this year. And as always, if you have any questions about the monthly report, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Guess what? Your favorite time, Councilman.
Queen of propaganda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just have 2 things I want to highlight from the monthly report. First, you did see an increase in social media posting engagement this month. Most of that was due to the winter weather, but of course we hope that continues over the months to come. And then the other thing is we did secure Ms. Coleman, our tourism admin, finalized working with CND and Oaks Church for their financial sponsorship of the Red, Oak, White, and Blue. So we are happy to say we are continuing that agreement with both of those entities.
Okay.
And I will take any other questions you guys may have.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hartman.
Just wanted to highlight that we've got, or you should be seeing a ton of new home construction in 2022. We've got what's going to be on track to be a record-breaking permitting year. We had over 50 in January, over 50 in February, and we've already gotten over 50, and it's only the 14th of March. So we have a ton of stuff going on internally, but also from a development, the final development product. You guys get to see a lot of the big subdivision plans, but then, we're seeing it through all the way to home construction. So if you notice it out there, it's going to be going nuts. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Ms. Amanda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give a quick update on recruitment. We did hire 3 new employees this month. 2 of them were the police officers, and 1 was the administrative assistant position that was approved by council back in October for the Parks Department. And we are currently in the process of interviewing for the assistant police and fire chief positions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any.
Questions? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Platt?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to bring out a couple things from the report. In February, we pay our semi-annual principal and interest on our debt payments. So we did pay out over $3.6 million in principal and interest. You likely noticed on the accounts payable listing. Also, we like to just give you an update on sales tax collections because we collect those in the first couple of weeks of the month. So even though the report covers February, we have already received our collection for March, and that is also up 15.92% from the prior year. So we're looking good there as well. And then also I did want to bring out that we did hire the assistant finance director position. She starts next week, so very excited about that. And we'll have her on the April meeting to formally introduce her. And that's all I have. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
16%,
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Benford?
Mayor, Council, just want to point out a couple things. Installed quite a few new PCs this month, just part of our evergreen process. It's pretty new.
I think you need to give Mr. McCleary a new one. He can't work it. It's a brand new. That's why it's smartphone.
I'm trying to get him a new laptop with 4 screens that just fold out. Also set up a new PC for the Parks admin assistant and built, working on the laptop for the new assistant fire chief when they start. Still continued our Windows 11 upgrades and spent quite a bit of time working over on the new city hall, getting ready for all the new cabling, trying to save the fiber and stuff that's still in there. So they pull down some ceiling, we come over and mark stuff, and then they pull down more ceiling. Hopefully don't pull down the stuff we mark. That's fine.
We did find out though that some of that was Cat 5.
Everything in the building is Cat 5 except for the fiber. Yeah, all the Ethernet in the building is Cat 5.
Is that good?
Well, we want Cat 6. It's just a better grade. So.
I know that came up last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were hoping it'd be Cat 6, but it's not.
Recycle it.
Well, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're stripping all the.
Yeah, let's get all that copper out of there. Need copper. All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ragsdale.
Yes, Mayor and Council. I wanted to highlight that we registered 24 new patrons this month. In February and in January, we registered 33 new patrons. That's an over 300% increase over last year. But of course, that was also COVID was involved. But I'm just excited that we are getting new customers, and they'll be excited about the new building also as much as I am, I know. And also, I'm just over the moon excited about all the events that Kyle has invited the library to co-participate in, and I'll let him tell about some of the new ones, and I won't steal his thunder. And if the council mayor have any questions, I'll be glad to answer questions.
Great. Thank you, sir. Mr. Kelly.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'd like to welcome Ms. Sarah Zuniga to the city of Red Oak. She isn't here tonight, but I will get her in here to meet everybody at some point here in the near future. She comes to us from the city of Ennis, and she's got a good background in parks and reservations, and so she's picked up and just running with everything that we have. So it's been really, really nice to have her on board with us. And we currently have one position open. It's a daytime position for Parks Maintenance Technician 1. we're recruiting for that. And then we also have three regular board members for our Parks Commission and 2 alternate members that we're seeking to fill those positions. So if y'all have anybody you know that might be interested or would be willing to volunteer a little bit of time for that, we'd really be willing to sit down, visit with them, and get them on board with us. And what Logan from the library was saying was that the movies in the park, we're working with the library on these, since we kind of fit hand in hand with that, and they can do some things that we can't, and they bring a little bit to the table for these events. So we're going to be working together next Friday, March the 25th at 7:15, right out and back here. We will have the second ever movie in the park for the city of Red Oak. Movie Brave will be shown. And immediately in next month, we'll have Peter Rabbit. I'll brief you on the times and dates and then location in case we may find another location that may suit us better for the time of year than out here, but we're certainly got a great location here. And then the other thing I want to make sure everybody's aware of is the Red Oak Easter egg hunt is coming up on Wednesday, April the 13th, 6:30. It's going to also be back here behind the Municipal Center, and we're going to have 5 different age groups that'll be out there, or 4 age groups and 1 for children with special needs, so that way we can get everybody included and going in that. And then, so anybody who wants to come by, we'd love to have you. And I know everybody just has a good time at those events. So if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer anything you got. 13th?
Great.
And the Easter Bunny will be here at 6, so don't forget that. So bring your camera if you want to get your picture with the Easter Bunny, but the bunny will be here before the event, and I'm sure we'll have the bunny stay a little bit after in order to make sure all the kids get their pictures taken.
Great.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. I can't believe you got Councilman Goodwin convinced to dress up that way. Mr. Williams.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Let's keep this brief. First, want to update Council on the status of the retaining wall at Methodist of Red Oak Road. As of today, the concrete footers have all been poured, so it's consistent all the way around it now. And so that's got a cure, and they anticipate the bricklayers starting next Monday. So it should really go up pretty quick at that point. It's just a matter of grading and backfilling behind the wall, just finishing it out. So other than potential weather delays, looking at by the end of March, end of this month, finishing it out. So the only other item I have is just in our report, you all may have seen it, but we added a construction inspection pages so that council can look at and see what kind of the status of all the projects, at least from the infrastructure, water, sewer, streets. They'll drop off and roll off as that completes, and we finalize it from the public works inspection side, and then it goes to the building side at that point. But anyhow, just thought it's a good view for council to be able to see just how much is going on and at what levels things are happening. So,
excellent.
No questions?
Was that? No. Thank you. So it sounds like both of y'all are working hard, Hartman's department. Mr. Phillips.
Yes, Mayor and Council, good evening. Just a few things to update you on our City Hall project. The contractor mobilized on the 7th, so security fencing went up around the 9th. It was Wednesday the 9th, I believe, when they got everything fenced in. And so they started their demo. It's a secure construction site now, which is good. And they started their demo. They're moving pretty quickly. They started down on what will be the new municipal court area, and they're working their way back east across the building. We have, they've opened up the ceiling pretty much all the way through the building. They're taking the ceiling grid down now. They've got electricians in there that are working on either capping wires or moving wires, doing different things above the ceiling. They started demoing some of the walls at the end of last week. So we're seeing some really good progress. They're moving very quickly through the demo process. I'd like to especially thank Public Works, who came in and removed all of the lockers in the main portion of the building. Those that were salvageable have been moved, and we're gonna try to auction those off. There were some that did not come out so easily, so they'll be used for scrap metal, essentially. So I appreciate all their help. Once the contractors at a good point with the demo and the parapet walls have gone up, they'll mobilize the roofer, which will be kind of the next big step to get the building dried in before they do anything substantial inside the building. And, you know, you'll also notice that they're gonna start to demo on the exterior portion of it too, to put in those canopies and the entrances. John mentioned the IT portion of it. We're supposed to receive our HVAC study back this week, with the details on each of the units and what the recommendations are for repair or replacement. We do think we're gonna have a couple of RTUs that may have some issues. So when we get that information, we'll work through it as we go. But, you know, we did make a change, with the contractor that I think it kind of illustrates the benefit of having the construction manager on our side. So, when we looked through the contract, we realized we could pull out the owner's contingency and also pull out the IT. We had if you remember in the contract, there was $150,000 separated just for the IT portion. So when we pull those out, we'll manage those in-house with our construction manager, and that saves the overhead and some of the additional fees on that $270,000. So that actually put $16,000 back in the project by doing it. So we're going to be continuing to look for those savings. As I let Todd know earlier today, we had some other potential savings that came up in our walkthrough this morning. And so, you know, we're constantly looking for ways to save money and put additional items back in the project. When we did pull those items out, we went through our list of items that we voluntarily removed to get under budget, and we were able to put back in the items such as the ceiling grid in the library, the carpeting in the library, the desk in the library, the two items that were pulled out of the municipal court area, we put those back in. And so, as you can see, this is kind of going to be an organic process of when we have savings or we find ways to work within the contract, and we'll try to add as much of that back in as possible. So happy to report that all those things we were worried about not getting in the library look like they're going to be able to be put back in part of the original plan. So, so far, pleased with the process, and, you know, every month you'll get a report. Hopefully they're good reports. We may run into some things, and we'll just work through those as we go along.
And the floor in the library, I know we talked about it because it was fairly new, but we had carpet cleaners go out there and it's stained beyond.
Yeah, we had demos done today on the stains, and there's water damage stains in the carpet. It's been there so long that when they go to actually clean the carpet, the stains just come right back up. So, you know, I think it'll be good to have a consistent, all the flooring will be replaced in the building all year.
Sure.
All right, so that is all that we have. And also, I will share with you, I was at the Empire State Building this past weekend, and they built that in 13 months. So Jonathan's gonna hit that contractor and say he should have all this done in 13 months. If they can do that building, then they can get our municipal building taken care of. So, but no, thank you for the update.
Mayor, sorry.
Yep.
We're also looking at planning a wall breaking ceremony to, you know, instead of a groundbreaking, a wall breaking ceremony with the demo portion. So Alexa's gonna be working with the contractors on getting that scheduled. We're looking at the 24th of March, and more details to come. We'd love for you to come out and swing a sledgehammer and get some pictures taken.
Drake? Yeah, Drake's gonna be there with his right arm or his left arm, whichever. All right.
King hurt the other.
I'll try.
All right, so we don't have to do any more executive. So the time is, 9:56, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Councilman Goodwin.
Second.
Councilman Drake. Those in favor? Yep, I see a big thumb from
Drake, aye.
Wilson.
Good night.
All right, that's 4-0. We're closed at, 9:56.